Liam, you always seem so busy lately. How do you manage to balance everything? Work, personal life, friends? It feels like there's never enough time.
Honestly, Emma, I'm not sure I'm balancing it as well as it looks. There are days when I feel completely overwhelmed. Between deadlines, meetings, and trying to keep up with friends, it's like I'm constantly running from one thing to the next.
I get that. I've been feeling the same way recently. It's like no matter how hard I try, I can't seem to get everything done. There's always something left on the to-do list.
Exactly. And the worst part is that even when I'm off work, I'm still thinking about it. It's like my brain doesn't know how to switch off anymore. I'll be having dinner with friends, and suddenly I'm thinking about that email I forgot to send or the project that's due next week.
It's the same for me. Even on weekends, I catch myself thinking about work. I used to be able to relax and enjoy my time off, but now it's like work is always hanging over my head. I've been trying to find ways to switch off, but it's tough.
Yeah, it feels like we're always on, you know? Even when we're not physically working, we're still mentally stuck in work mode. It's exhausting.
Totally. I've started reading articles about work-life balance, but most of them give the same advice. Set boundaries, take breaks, go for walks. It all sounds great, but putting it into practice is another story.
Oh, I've read those too. They make it sound so simple, but it's hard to set boundaries when everything feels urgent. And with all the technology we have now, phones, laptops, it's like you're never really disconnected.
Exactly. I mean, even when I try to take a break, I end up checking my phone for messages or emails. It's become a habit that's hard to break.
I know what you mean. I've tried leaving my phone in another room, but then I just get anxious, wondering if I've missed something important. It's like we're expected to be available 24/7 these days.
It's true. Sometimes I think about how different things were before smartphones and constant connectivity. People actually had time to switch off and enjoy their personal lives without being bombarded by work all the time.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about how much has changed. I don't think people were meant to be this connected all the time. It's like we're always plugged into something, and it's draining.
Do you think there's a way to fix it, to actually find that balance and not feel like we're being pulled in a million directions?
I think it's possible, but it's going to take more than just turning off notifications or setting office hours. I think it's about changing how we think about work and time in general.
That makes sense. But how do you do that? How do you change something that feels so ingrained in your daily routine?
That's the hard part, right? I think it starts with figuring out what really matters to you. What are the things you want to prioritize? Because at the end of the day, we can't do everything. We have to choose what's most important.
I've been thinking about that a lot lately. I feel like I've been prioritizing work so much that I've let other parts of my life slip. Friendships, hobbies, even taking care of myself. I don't want to lose sight of those things.
Same here. It's easy to get caught up in work and forget about the rest of your life. But I think if we don't make time for those other things, we'll just burn out.
Burnout. That's a word I hear more and more lately. It's scary because it feels like it's becoming so common.
Yeah, it's like a badge of honor almost. People bragging about how tired or overworked they are. But that's not something we should be proud of. We need to figure out how to live in a way that doesn't lead to burnout.
I completely agree. But figuring that out is easier said than done. I guess it's all about small changes, right?
Exactly. It's not about some big overnight transformation. It's about making small adjustments that add up over time.
So, what small changes have you tried? Anything that's actually worked?
Well, one thing I've started doing is scheduling time for myself, like blocking out an hour in my day that's just for me. No work, no distractions, just something that helps me recharge.
That sounds nice. What do you usually do during that time?
It depends. Sometimes I'll go for a walk, other times I'll read a book, or even just sit and listen to music. The key for me is doing something that's not related to work at all.
I've been trying to do something similar. I started taking yoga classes in the evening. At first, it was hard to make time for it, but now it's something I look forward to. It really helps me clear my mind after a busy day.
That's awesome. I've heard yoga can be great for both mental and physical relaxation. Do you feel a big difference?
Definitely. It's like the stress from the day melts away. And for that hour, I'm not thinking about deadlines or emails. It's just me focusing on the present moment.
That's exactly what we need more of, being in the moment. I feel like we're always thinking ahead, worrying about the next thing. It's hard to just enjoy where we are right now.
It really is. We've gotten so used to multitasking that we forget how to focus on just one thing at a time. But I'm trying to change that. Even simple things like enjoying a meal without checking my phone make a big difference.
I've been trying to do that too, putting my phone away during meals or when I'm spending time with friends. It helps me be more present and enjoy the moment.
It's funny how something so small can make such a big impact. But it's those little moments that really count, right?
Exactly. And I think when we start paying attention to those moments, we begin to realize that life isn't just about work. There's so much more out there if we're willing to look for it.
I love that. It's a reminder that we need to take time to appreciate the little things, even when life gets hectic.
For sure. And I think that's the key to avoiding burnout, realizing that we don't have to do everything and that it's okay to slow down.
It's easier said than done, though. Sometimes I feel guilty when I take time for myself, like I'm not being productive enough.
I know what you mean. I used to feel the same way, but I've come to realize that rest is productive too. If we don't take care of ourselves, we won't be able to do our best work anyway.
That's true. It's like the saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. We need to fill our own cups first.
Exactly. And that means taking time to rest, recharge, and do things that make us happy, whether that's spending time with loved ones, pursuing a hobby, or just doing nothing at all.
You're right. I think I've been so focused on being productive that I've forgotten how important it is to just relax and enjoy life. It's something I'm working on, though.
Me too. It's definitely a work in progress, but I think we're heading in the right direction. Just recognizing the need for balance is the first step.
Yeah, and it helps to have conversations like this to know we're not alone in feeling this way. A lot of people are struggling with the same thing.
Exactly. It's comforting to know that we're all in this together. And maybe by talking about it more, we can start to make real changes, not just for ourselves, but for the people around us too.
I hope so. I think the more we prioritize balance and well-being, the better off we'll be, not just in our personal lives, but in our work as well.
For sure. When we take care of ourselves, we're actually more productive at work. It's ironic, right? We push ourselves so hard thinking we'll get more done. But in reality, if we just took a step back and rested, we'd probably do better work in less time.
That's so true. I've noticed that on the days when I'm well rested and less stressed, I'm actually more creative and focused. It's like my brain works better when I'm not running on empty.
Exactly. It's all about finding that sweet spot where you're working hard, but also taking care of yourself. When you're in that zone, everything seems to flow better.
I want to get to that point. It sounds so much healthier. But like you said earlier, it's going to take small steps, little by little.
Absolutely. It's not something that happens overnight. But the more we practice, the easier it gets. And we need to remind ourselves that it's okay to not be perfect. We don't have to have everything figured out right now.
That's a good reminder. I tend to put a lot of pressure on myself, thinking I need to have everything under control. But life doesn't work that way. It's messy. And that's okay.
Exactly. No one has everything under control, no matter how put together they seem. We're all just figuring it out as we go along. The important thing is that we're trying, right?
Yeah, and that we're learning from the process. I think each time we take a step back to reflect, we learn something new about ourselves and how we can approach life a little differently.
Exactly. And the more we learn, the better we get at navigating the ups and downs. It's like building a toolkit of strategies that help us handle whatever life throws our way.
I love that idea, a toolkit for life. It makes me feel more empowered, like I have the tools I need to deal with stress and challenges instead of just reacting to them.
That's the goal, to feel more in control, even when things are chaotic, and to know that it's okay to take a break, to rest, and to ask for help when we need it.
Asking for help, that's another thing I need to get better at. I tend to try to handle everything on my own, but sometimes it's just too much.
I hear you. I used to do the same thing, but I've realized that asking for help doesn't make you weak. It actually makes you stronger. It takes courage to admit when you're struggling and to reach out to others.
That's such a good point. Such a good point. I think we often forget that we don't have to do it all by ourselves. There's no shame in leaning on others when we need to.
Absolutely. Life is tough enough as it is. We don't have to make it harder by isolating ourselves. Whether it's friends, family, or even colleagues, there's always someone willing to help if we just ask.
I'm going to try to remember that next time I feel overwhelmed. I think it would make a big difference. Just knowing that I don't have to carry everything on my own.
For sure. And don't forget, I'm always here if you need to talk or if you need help with anything. We're in this together, right?
Thanks, Liam. That means a lot. And same goes for you. I'm here for you too. It's nice to know we have each other's backs.
Definitely. It makes everything feel a little less daunting when you know you're not alone.
It really does. And I think that's the key to finding balance, knowing when to push forward and when to step back, and also knowing that we don't have to do it all on our own.
Exactly. It's all about pacing ourselves and being kind to ourselves in the process. Life's a marathon, not a sprint.
I like that. A marathon. It reminds me that we don't have to rush through everything. We can take our time, enjoy the journey, and still reach our goals.
Totally. And sometimes slowing down is the best way to move forward. We need to give ourselves permission to take things one step at a time.
Agreed. I think I'm going to start by making more time for the things I love outside of work. Whether it's spending time with friends, reading, or just going for a walk, I want to bring more balance into my life.
That sounds like a great plan. I'm going to do the same. Let's check in with each other in a few weeks and see how it's going. We can hold each other accountable.
I love that idea. It'll be nice to have someone to share the progress with. Maybe we'll even inspire each other to try new things.
For sure. And who knows? Maybe this conversation is the start of something bigger for both of us, figuring out how to live a more balanced, fulfilling life.
I hope so. It feels good just talking about it and acknowledging that it's something we can work on. I'm excited to see where this journey takes us.
Me too. It's not going to be easy, but I think we're on the right path. As long as we keep moving forward and supporting each other, we'll get there.
Absolutely. Here's to finding balance and living life to the fullest.
Cheers to that.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and stay tuned for the upcoming episodes to keep improving your English. And remember, listening, practice, and improve.